Relaxation prelude. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Allow your shoulders to soften, your hands to rest loosely where they are, and your eyes, if they wish to close. The world outside your room can wait. Right now, all that matters is this moment, this calm, slow moment where your body is sinking into comfort and your mind drifts gently, like flour falling through the air. You might notice the rhythm of your own breathing, steady, easy, like the soft sway of wheat in a summer field, like the hush of a tide moving in and out upon the shore. Let the breath carry you deeper into ease, deeper into stillness, deeper into the quiet embrace of night. Our story tonight is here to carry you away, softly, gently, like a lullaby. Story begins. Our story today begins in a village where the rooftops lean close, as though whispering to each other beneath the starlight. The streets are cobbled and uneven, worn smooth by generations of footsteps. The houses with their timber beams and thatched roofs seem to settle into slumber the moment twilight arrives. But not every soul sleeps when the stars appear. In the quietest corner of the village, at the bend of a narrow lane, there is a little bakery. Its walls are stone, rough and strong, and its windows are tiny squares of glass that glimmer faintly with moonlight. By day, this bakery is filled with chatter, with warmth, with the fragrance of fresh loaves and sweet rolls. But by night, oh by night, it is a temple of silence. Except for one figure, the Baker of Moonlit Rye. He rises when others dream. He wakes in the deep hours, when even owls grow still, and he begins his work beneath the hush of the stars. There is something sacred about his routine, as though he belongs more to the night sky than the bustling day. The villagers say that when he kneads the dough, he listens to the stars themselves. That the constellations whisper their secrets into his flour, and that perhaps this is why his bread carries such warmth, such comfort, such peace, as though every loaf has caught a fragment of the night's stillness, baked golden in the morning's first light. Imagine, if you will, stepping quietly into this world. The air is cool outside. The village sleeps, and the only sounds are faint, the distant creak of a shutter in the breeze, the occasional bark of a dog, and the murmur of crickets in the hedges. But as you step nearer the little bakery, something changes. You feel warmth radiating faintly, like the breath of a hearth fire waiting within. There is the faintest glow seeping beneath the wooden door, and when you step inside, you enter the heart of midnight's rhythm. The bakery interior, the room greets you with warmth. It smells of flour, of yeast, of wood smoke. A fire hums low in the great stone hearth, the coals shimmering like a bed of tiny stars. Wooden shelves line the walls, stacked with sacks of grain, bundles of dried herbs, and jars filled with mysterious seeds. In the center stands a great wooden table, dusted with flour like snow, and at that table the baker works. His sleeves are rolled to his elbows, his hands, broad and steady, move with the rhythm of someone who has done this all his life, pressing, folding, turning the dough. Each motion is unhurried, like the beating of a steady heart. The sound is soft, but distinct. The sigh of flour against wood, the stretch of dough, the low thump as he folds it into itself. Every so often he pauses, he looks upward, through the small window that opens onto the sky, and the stars look back at him, silent, patient, as if they, too, are part of his work. Night baking tradition. Long ago, in villages much like this one, bakers rose at night to work their craft. For bread was needed at dawn, warm, fragrant, ready to greet the day alongside the rising sun. To knead and bake in the morning would be too late, and so, bakers became the guardians of midnight. They worked when others dreamed, and when the first villagers stepped out into the morning air, they were welcomed by the scent of warm bread, the proof of quiet labor done while the world slept. This tradition, whispered across centuries, lives still in our story tonight, in this little bakery, with its quiet fire and starlit windows, and in the rhythm of the baker's hands, shaping bread as though shaping the dreams of the village itself. Deepening relaxation. As you imagine this scene, you might feel yourself sinking deeper into comfort. Each detail, the warmth of the fire, the hush of the night, the steady kneading of dough, brings you further into stillness. Your body knows it can rest, your mind knows it can soften. You are safe, here, in this story. The baker's rhythm is slow, steady, calming, and so too is your breath, and so too is your heart. And so, our journey into the world of the Baker of Moonlit Rye has just begun. He will shape many loaves tonight. He will tell his story in the silence of flour and firelight. And as we walk beside him, gently, softly, we may discover not just the bread of dawn, but the peace of night itself. Settling deeper, take another gentle breath in, and let it flow out like a sigh of relief. Allow the muscles in your face to soften. Your jaw, your temples, even your eyelids, let them all grow loose, relaxed, free. With each word you hear, you may feel yourself drifting, not away but deeper inward toward calmness, as though every sentence is another layer of soft blankets settling gently around you. The baker works, and so, too, does the night, and you, listener, are invited to step even further into his quiet world. The baker at work. The baker leans over his table, pressing the dough with the heel of his hand. Fold, press, turn, fold, press, turn. The rhythm is steady, hypnotic, like waves reaching the shore again and again. Each movement pulls the dough into life, stretching the fibers, warming it beneath his touch. Now and again, he dusts his hands with flour. The powder rises like pale smoke, drifting in the air, catching the faint light of the fire. You watch the flour settle slowly, like snow falling in a hush, tiny flakes glimmering as they descend. The baker does not hurry. Night is on his side, time is his companion. And so, each loaf is shaped not with haste, but with patience. Patience you can feel. Patience you can breathe. The crackling hearth behind him, the great oven glows. The fire inside whispers with tiny snaps and crackles, like wood telling secrets to flame. The scent of smoke mingles with the fragrance of yeast, rich and earthy, filling the little bakery with warmth. Close your eyes if you wish, and imagine sitting close to that fire. The stone floor beneath you, cool but steady. The air warm, flickering with the breath of the flames. The shadows on the wall dance, bending, shifting, swaying, as though the fire itself is alive. The baker listens to the fire, as though it speaks to him, and in a way it does. For every loaf is shaped not only by hands, but by heat, and fire, like a heartbeat, has its own rhythm. The village asleep. Step outside, just for a moment. In your mind's eye, the village beyond the bakery lies silent. The cottages huddle close together, their windows dark. The lanes are empty, touched only by moonlight. Somewhere far away, a dog stirs and lies down again. The church bell does not ring. Not yet, not until dawn. And above it all, the stars scatter themselves across the night. Brighter here than in any city, each one a lantern in the vast sky. No footsteps, no carriages, no voices, only the hush of the world sleeping. And here, within this stillness, one man works with quiet devotion. Night baking reflections. There is something almost mystical about night baking. Imagine being awake when the rest of the world dreams. Imagine the solitude, the silence, the way the stars become companions instead of strangers. For the baker, the night is not lonely. It is alive. Every creak of the wooden beams above, every sigh of the fire, every rustle of wheat in the sacks is part of his music. He bakes not only for sustenance, but for comfort. For the weary farmer who will rise before dawn, finding strength in the warmth of bread. For the mother who will break a loaf to feed her children, its crust crackling as she pulls it apart. For the elder who sits by the window with a slice, remembering younger days. The baker's work carries not just food, but memory, connection, care, guided calm within the story. And as you listen, perhaps you can feel the same care wrapping around you now, as though this story itself were bread, rising gently in your mind, soft, warm, comforting. Notice how your body continues to relax, the rise and fall of your breath, the quiet stillness within your chest, the way your limbs grow heavier like loaves settling onto a tray, ready to rest. Every detail of the baker's world is another lull, another invitation to drift. The shaping of loaves, the dough has grown supple beneath his hands. The baker divides it into portions, each one resting like a small round moon on the floured table. He shapes them with a kind of reverence, turning each into a perfect form. He scores the tops gently with a blade. Little lines, little marks, each one a signature. The dough responds, sighing open, ready to rise. He places them on wooden boards, dusted with flour, and covers them with cloths. They will rest. They will breathe. They will grow. And as the loaves rise, so too does the night deepen. The stars shimmer higher. The world holds its breath in the quiet hours before dawn. Return to relaxation, and you, too, can rest, just like those loaves beneath their cloths. Covered in comfort, safe in stillness, rising gently in the warmth of peace. The baker wipes his hands, dusting off the flour. He pauses, leans against the table, and gazes once more out the window. The stars look back at him, steady, silent, as though they, too, approve of the rhythm of his work. Settling deeper still, take in a slow, easy breath, and release it as though you are exhaling a long, gentle sigh. Feel your shoulders melt lower. Feel your arms grow heavier, softer, warmer. With every passing word you drift deeper into a rhythm as steady as the baker's kneading, as constant as the hush of night. Let your thoughts float like flour in the air, weightless, unhurried, settling slowly back into stillness. The loaves resting on the table. The covered loaves sleep beneath linen cloths. The fabric rises and falls almost imperceptibly, as though the dough itself is breathing. There is something alive about it, something gentle, something tender. The baker moves quietly around them, respecting their rest. He tends to the oven, feeding it carefully, listening to the fire's low murmur. Now and again he lifts a cloth to peek. And there, beneath the cover, the dough has swelled. Its surface glistens faintly with moisture, like a night field kissed by dew. The air smells richer now, warm yeast blending with wood smoke. The bakery is no longer just a room, it is a cradle of life, a cocoon of warmth. And within it, both bread and story rise together. The ovens glow, the great stone oven deepens in color, its mouth flickering with golden orange light. The bricks radiate warmth, and the air around it shimmers. Imagine standing near it. The heat washes over your skin, not harsh but soothing, like the embrace of sunlight after rain. The crackle of the fire is steady, soft, reassuring. It's as though the oven breathes with the baker. In, out, in, out. The baker opens its iron door, and for a moment, the bakery fills with a warm flare of light. Shadows leap along the beams overhead. Then the door closes, and darkness returns. A gentle, hushed darkness where only embers glow. The quiet village beyond. Outside, the village remains silent. The moon hangs low, its pale light brushed across rooftops, chimneys, and winding lanes. A cat prowls along a stone wall, its tail curling like smoke. Its eyes glimmer green in the faint glow, catching the moonlight before disappearing into shadow. The air outside is cool, the kind of cool that makes every breath feel like silk slipping through the lungs. Grass dampens under dew. Wooden shutters creak slightly with the shifting breeze. And yet, no one stirs. The village sleeps on, unaware of the soft work unfolding in the little bakery at its heart. The baker's thoughts. The baker hums softly to himself as he works, not a song, exactly, but a low tune, almost like a lullaby meant only for bread. His voice blends with the oven's crackle and the sigh of rising dough. Sometimes, he remembers his father teaching him these very motions. Sometimes, he wonders if his own children will one day take his place. But most of all, he thinks of morning, of the joy on villagers' faces when the scent of bread drifts through the streets, when baskets are filled, when tables are set. He imagines mothers smiling as they tear open loaves, children laughing at the crackle of crust, elders nodding with quiet gratitude. The baker knows that the work he does in silence will ripple outward into joy, and so he kneads, shapes, waits, and tends. Each motion is not just labor, it is love, guided, calm within the story. And as you listen, perhaps you can imagine your own life receiving this same kind of quiet care. Moments you didn't notice, but that shaped your days. Kindnesses offered in silence, that carried you forward, the hidden warmth of others' hands, guiding your path. Let those thoughts soften you. Let them cradle you. Let them remind you that, even in stillness, even in darkness, something good is always rising for you. Breathe in and out, like the baker's rhythm, steady, comforting, endless. The loaves, ready to bake now, at last. The dough has finished its gentle rest. The baker lifts the cloths, one by one, revealing loaves plump and proud, their surfaces marked with delicate lines. He slides them onto wooden paddles, each loaf glowing faintly in the firelight, as though kissed by the stars themselves. Then, with one long, graceful motion, he places them into the oven. The sound is soft, a sigh of dough meeting stone, a whisper of heat enveloping bread. The door closes again, and the loaves begin their final transformation. Inside, where you cannot see, the heat awakens them. The yeast dances, the crust forms, the bread grows firm, alive, fragrant, and all the while, the baker waits, patient.com. Certain return to relaxation, and you too can wait with ease. You don't need to hurry, you don't need to strain. Like the loaves in the oven, you are in the hands of warmth, of patience, of gentle transformation. Feel yourself sink deeper into rest. The story continues to hold you, wrapping you in its rhythm, its warmth, its calm. Each word is another flicker of the hearth, another hush of the night. The baker wipes his brow, sits back for a moment, and gazes out the window again. The stars shimmer, silent companions. The moon smiles faintly, as though it, too, is waiting for dawn. And so, the night continues. The loaves bake, the oven glows, the baker waits. And you, listening, drift softly into a rhythm of peace.